Let's have a look at adding your own items to your store. Go ahead and click on the Your Products section, and when that comes up, it'll show you where you can go in and add your own custom manufacturers, your custom categories, and go ahead and add the products that you're wanting to sell. So let's say that we were going to add a crossbow, and the crossbow is manufacturer XYZ. What I can do is I can go to Add New, and I can put in XYZ as the name, and then I'll pick an abbreviation for that manufacturer, and then I'll go ahead and supply all of the information that we need about that manufacturer, so their phone number, their other phone, fax URL, and info like that. And once we get all of that plugged in, we'll just go ahead and hit submit, and that'll add that manufacturer in so that you can choose them when you add the item. The category section works in basically the same way, so I'll go ahead and click Add New. I can put in the name of the category that you want to create, as well as an abbreviation for that category. As with the previous section, if you look down below it, there are some rules and regulations about how those are supposed to go in. Talking about it needs to be in the proper case and not to have any special characters and things of that nature. Down here you can edit the products that you've added or add new products. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add New. In this area you can go and fill out this form to put in an item. Under catalog number, that would be a catalog number that you create. It's your way of keeping track of the item. Next we need an SKU number. Now this must be a number. You can't put any letters in this field, and it's required. It has to be filled out. The manufacturer number would be the manufacturer's reorder number for the item, or the number that the manufacturer assigns, as well as the barcode, which would be the number that's actually on the packaging with a barcode on it. Under manufacturer, you can choose the manufacturer from the list that's appropriate for the item. If the manufacturer you're wanting is not in the list, you can use the Add Manufacturer section to add the appropriate manufacturer. The small short description would be kind of a line item. This is what gets used on the reports. So you need to really describe the item fully using this section. It doesn't accept very many characters, so abbreviations are important here. In the short description, basically this is a longer description, so you can describe the item better using more words. So the small short description is smaller than the short description. Under warranty, if you know what kind of warranty terms the item has on it, you can fill those in. And you can also fill in a quantity on hand. An important note about that is the quantity on hand doesn't decrement. So when somebody goes in and purchases one of these items, it doesn't automatically remove that item from your inventory. So whenever you add your own items, you need to make sure that you're keeping track of the inventory that you've added and going in and removing inventory as it gets depleted. What I suggest is going ahead and putting in a number of the inventory that is smaller than what you actually have. Let's say if you have 50 of something and you list 10, that's a pretty good cushion so that you know that you're not going to oversell that item. The hazardous material section allows you to set up the hazmat fees correctly. So let's say you're going to put up some ammunition. You need to select that so that it knows to charge the appropriate hazmat fees in the shipping area. The full description is essentially your main description. This is where you're going to describe the item fully. Now, the description is up to you, but I suggest that you have a short paragraph followed by different features of the items that you can put in there as bullet points. The paragraph at the top, I don't feel like should be over 5 or 6 sentences, because I don't think a lot of people are reading paragraphs and paragraphs of info. And then if you take the features and specifications and create those as bullet points down below, I think you'll wind up with a really nice looking listing. Just a suggestion, you can do that any way you want. As far as the weight goes, you would put that in, and you're going to put it in as pounds, and you're going to put it in as a decimal. So let's say that you were going to do 5.5 pounds. That would be put in as 5.5. The length, the width, and the height work the same way and are measured in inches. Additional shipping is set up so that you can put in an additional shipping amount in dollars. Let's say that you have an item that is particularly large and bulky and you seem to always lose money on the freight. You can actually bump the freight on that particular item, and we'll just go ahead and add that in on the shipping total. The status section, it tells the cart whether or not to display the item. So it defaults to online, which means an item that shows up in the cart. You can also set it to offline, which will mean basically that the item's no longer available. The category section is where you can go in to choose what category to put the item into. So let's say that you were putting in some ammunition and it was centerfire rifle. You would simply choose centerfire rifle. Now, let's say it doesn't fit into any of these categories. You can use the Add Category section to add categories to the featured item area. All of these categories are categories that other customers have put in, but you can definitely add your own. The product group is used for grouping like items, and this is probably the most difficult concept to understand about putting an item in. Let's say that you have some t-shirts and they come in 5 sizes and 5 colors, but they're all the same basic t-shirt, they just have different variations. Well, rather than having 25 different line items in your cart, what you could do is you could give each item the same product group identifier, and it'll roll those items up into one item that has options. So what you put in here is entirely up to you, but you just give each one the same identifier. So let's say we had product group AAA, and so now all of these t-shirts are going to be in group AAA. But now, let's say you come up with a different style of t-shirt, it's got a different picture on it. So maybe you could call all of those AAB. These are just suggestions. You can use anything that you like. So you could say T-shirt 1 and do it that way. The group miscellaneous is used whenever you fill out a product group. Then what you'll need to do is fill out a group miscellaneous. So let's say that we have, let's go back to group AAA and say that it comes in 5 sizes and 5 colors. With that being said, you would need to denote what's different about that item as opposed to each member of the group. So we could say size XL, color red. And that would be a great group miscellaneous because it explains just what's different about that item. The restricted field would be, if you're wanting to add firearms, you're going to put in a restriction of FFL to show that that it requires a federal firearms license to be sent to. In the MSRP section, you'll put in the MSRP of the item. So let's say the suggested retail price is $50. You could put that in. And then price is the price you're actually going to charge. So let's say that your standard price was $45. And then you also have a volume price and a level 3 price. So let's say we'll go ahead and put those in as cheaper. Made in would be where the item was manufactured. And then picture and thumbnail would be the actual pictures. So if I were to go ahead and click browse, I could choose the full size picture, and then under thumbnail I could do the smaller picture to use in the cart. Our shopping cart uses thumbnails that are 87 by 87 pixels, and so it might be a good idea to make your thumbnails match that.